Before, among university students, we found up to 90% of women suffer from this disorder. But luckily, this disorder, which is pain of menstruation, goes from mild to severe. So those who suffer that are mild are the most virulent, okay? So very common. It can be a type of pain, okay? Remember that visceral pain usually is diffuse, not localized, and it has different feeling than somatic pain, okay? In primary dysmenorrhea, when there is no underlying cause, there is no uterine problem, okay? Because of course, a woman who has pain during menstruation, we have to see what other conditions she might have. One of the most common, and we're gonna talk about it next, is endometriosis. Endometriosis causes severe pain during menstruation. Secondly, when there is, as I said, endometriosis, buildup voids, sometimes after insertion of the intrauterine device, the woman might feel pain even in her back, okay? And pelvic inflammatory disease. These are serious conditions that we have to take care of. That is why we should not ignore pain it's normal, طبيعي. Check it out. If everything else is fine, then pain is something that we have to deal with it separate from any other thing. Now, why there is pain? Because usually the uterus during menstruation and the pregnant uterus, the uterus that's in labor, will lose huge quantities of prostaglandins. And we know that certain prostaglandins are responsible for inflammatory pain. And this is the type of pain that we can see. Another thing, because of these contractions and these dying blood vessels that are in the endometrium, بيصير hypoxia. Hypoxia is very painful. As you can remember, when you either give blood or go for blood pressure monitoring, when they put the cuff and they push, you have pain in your arm because of hypoxia. Because hypoxia will lead to accumulation of metabolites, and some of them, like lactic acid, cause pain of acids, okay? So these are the two pathophysiological explanation of pain during menstruation or dysmenorrhea. Prostaglandin on one and hypoxia on the other. So you can guess what is the treatment? NSAID. We have prostaglandin, then we need something that can inhibit prostaglandins. Good. There is also non-pharmacological treatment like application of heat. This is something that our women, especially the older generation, they taught us. They're like, how do you get money? Okay? And actually, studies have shown, when we apply heat to the abdominal area, it would be as equivalent as to taking 400 milligram ibuprofen. Imagine that. طبعا we know in القوة الشعبي we have certain herbs من أشهرها شو؟ MRD. And MRD, indeed, it does have this effect, and even the name MRD, طبعا it could be myth, but it's a nice myth to remember that it is تعطف على مريم عليها السلام حيث كانت تتناول هذا المشروب لتخفيف من آلام المخيط والحمل والى اخره. فالمرمية is another بالاضافه كونه warm drink. Okay? Exercise. In the old days كان يحكونها ممنوع تعمل exercise. Two things كانوا ممنوعين in the old days: exercise and shower. Thank you. And two things are now encouraged. Why? Exercise causes you to produce endorphins. Your endogenous opioids, the endorphins, will help with the pain. And the hypoxia will be relieved by exercise. طبعا aerobic exercise is recommended. But if you are the kind who does all kinds of exercise, maybe you run every day 2 or 3 months, continue. It's not going to have a severe problem. As well as hygiene. Shower is okay because usually you feel icky, you are reducing more sweat, and etc. So there is this vegetarian diet, low-fat vegetarian diet have been shown to reduce intensity of dysmenorrhea. Actually, research has shown, and this is something Dr. Khalid Ali, whoever you guys remember him, shows that dairy products, it's not, dairy products have calcium. Calcium helps with the muscle contraction. But actually, if you take calcium alone, it's not as effective as you take the calcium in dairy products. So if you cannot have milk, many of us have, العرب احنا Middle Eastern, we have problem, we have milk, lactose intolerance, because traditionally our ancestors did not drink milk. بلاد حامية الملك spoils بيخلق عملناه ولبن. So we can have yogurt. Yogurt still contains بالإضافة للكالسيوم other stuff, it contains the probiotics, which are also helpful. So these are some of the non-pharmacological treatments that we can use. But as your friend Hay said, the initial treatment should recognize that we have prostaglandin excess, then we can use something to inhibit the prostaglandin release or synthesis in the hormonal NSAIDs. Usually, we recommend in an loading dose, so not 200 milligram ibuprofen, not 400 milligram ibuprofen, 500 milligram naproxen. These are the two that are traditionally used. Doesn't mean others cannot be used. But indomethacin is very hard on the stomach, okay, on the lining, so we rarely use it. So the over-the-counter minhum ibuprofen will naproxen. Now, one of the ideas, I should not wait until the pain happens. I should take it ahead of time, okay? Preemptive in the alcohol analysis. Also, oral contraceptives will help because they suppress ovulation. But they will decrease the menstruation, right? And decrease prostaglandin production. Debo, if she cannot take oral contraceptives that are combined, she can take Debo medroxyprogesterone. Even using levonorgestrel iodine could be helpful على المدى البعيد. Then, dysmenorrhea, we first start with non-pharmacological. If it's effective, we continue. Every month she does the same. Not effective, we ask if she wants contraception. If she wants contraception, it's okay. Then we start with all contraceptives for 2-3 cycles. Effective, we continue. Not, we might go to IUD or injectable medroxyprogesterone. If no, then we can give her NSAID monthly, beginning with the symptoms. Even if we can, just before the symptoms, inhibit prostaglandins in the muscles from forming, and we can continue. And if not, we switch back. Even if she doesn't want contraceptive, it might be the only solution for her. Of course, after 1 to 2 cycles, the patient should come back. She should have either the pain decreased or is absent now. Usually, what the problem is, but the problem beside the pain is the loss of work days, school days, which is not practical. It's not once a year. It's once a month. That becomes a lot. If I'm going to miss work 2 days every month, once the school 2 days every month, then that's going to affect my life, right? Now we come to the last one, which is the PMS. طبعا في كثير عندنا نكت على PMS, right? So we have PMS and we have PMDD, okay? And premenstrual disorder, these are mood, okay? Have to do with mood. Actually, PMDD is under psychiatric disorders. You find it under psychiatric disorders, and its a treatment guideline follows the same like the treatment of psychiatric problems, okay? PMS is less severe. It's a constellation of symptoms, mild mood disturbance, and physical symptoms. So usually, we don't know which one leads to the other. Is it this feeling of bloating, of nausea, of a breast tenderness that happens to the woman just before her menstruation that makes her moody, anxious, depressed, annoyed? We don't know. Or is it this annoyance make the physical symptoms seem worse? We really don't know, but usually physical and psychological symptoms together, okay? هلا PMDD on the other hand, as I said, is a complex psychiatric disorders with biological, psychological, and social-cultural determinants. Now, up to 75% have PMS. Luckily, PMDD is less prevalent because it's the more severe case. Okay, let me go back to the layout حضور. تمام. بيجينا إنه we have to هلا hopefully it works now. So I will. How we diagnose PMS? Okay. We have somatic symptoms and we have psychological or affective symptoms, like bloating of the abdominal valve, less swelling or tenderness, headache, muscle joint pain, swelling of the extremities, weight gain. Now, with affective and with outbursts, anxiety, depression, difficulty concentration, irritability, social withdrawal, all these, they go, as I said, we don't know which leads to which, okay? It could be the affective follow the somatic. Now, they are, we don't know the pathology exactly, but they think it's low level of progesterone metabolite, allopregnanolone, in the luteal phase, which lowers GABA, okay, in the follicular phase. هلا remember, probably لما أخذتوا 501 حكينا عن GABA A receptor، حكينا GABA A receptor كثير معقد. And it has many modulators, right? Among these modulators are our hormones, estrogen and progesterone. For example, estrogen is a negative modulator, so it inhibits GABA kind of, while progesterone is a positive. So, and that explains, like in the luteal phase, women usually feel more sleepy, more tired, more lethargic, less active because of the progesterone increase. While around ovulation, which is the time when estrogen is the highest, which inhibits GABA, you have the most, activity and energy to deal with it. We know now that they have other receptors. They have receptors in the brain, central nervous system that affect also mood. And this affection of mood could lead to these disorders. طبعا بضل السؤال انه ليش طيب؟ some women have it, some women do not have it. انا ماشي للخلف، انا مش مختفية عن الاعين. Don't start talking. نشوف هذول البنات عن ايش يحكوا. مش بس يجوا متأخرين، مين اللي يجوا متأخرين؟ هلا فاتوا ما شاء الله يعني. كمان قاعدوا يقولوا صح؟ وبيقولوا لنا don't hide the way. I didn't do that. لأن حكيتي محفوظة التنتي فيها عندها شفاء العديد اللي بيبقى بتجي عندها الطبيعية يحكي معها في الجروب كلام لطيف. إذا we think about hormones have effect when على البرين على multiple receptors. Of course we know about GABA, but it has effect on other receptors. And there is interaction even with the hypothalamus, the pituitary, androgenic HPA, which في علاقة مع الsteroids. Now PMDD, which is, as we said, is a psychiatric, it's a complex psychiatric disorder. So you find it under DSM-5, okay? Definition 7. Symptoms are temporally associated with last week of luteal phase and limit the onset of menses. PMS or PMDD, by the way, once menses happen before, okay? So the last week, the last phase of the luteal phase, At least 5 of the following symptoms are present. Markedly depressed mood, مش شوي depressed, markedly depressed, marked anxiety, marked affective lability, اللي هي زي ما شفنا هاي الست يعني أو sometimes they say are you crazy or something like that, which is wrong to say to a woman who has PMDD because she will show you what the crazy is. Marked anger or irritability, decreased interest in activities, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, changes in appetite, sleep disturbances, feeling of being overwhelmed, physical symptoms such as breast tenderness and bloating. What يعني زي تذكروا بالdepression الأبدي, the certain symptoms have to be there, otherwise we cannot give the diagnosis. The one symptom that must be there is either marked depression or anxiety or irritability or affective lability. إذا مش موجودين والأشياء الثانية موجودة, we cannot call it PMDD. Symptoms also should interfere with work and with activity, with the school, with social relations. They are not exaggeration or exacerbation of another. مش إنه هي عندها anxiety. So before graduation, her anxiety might go up. Okay? So yeah, but that is not PMDD. Also, daily ratings, how she knows she has to be. She have a diary to write in it what happens with her. Let us sometimes say, oh, I have this disorder, but when we look at the progress of the disorder, we find it's not really, it's not easy to diagnose. We cannot just label anybody, oh, you have a PMDD, oh, you have PMS. You have to have certain criteria. One of the treatments, is intake of caffeine, sugar, sodium, increase exercise. Vitamin B6 might be helpful, calcium is helpful. And if all these do not work, we give SSRIs, okay? We can give vaccine, so SSRIs, even hormonal treatment that can stop ovulation altogether. And it will have to do with ovulation. No ovulation, then she's fine. Like gonadotropin-releasing hormone agonists, loperamide, which can improve the symptoms, while physical, well, psychological. All contraceptives with 30 microgram estradiol and 3 milligram risperidone, which is the anti-androgenic, okay? The monophasic. And in this case, we might have the continuous, because every time she stops it, she might go back to have the same symptoms. Of course, we expect 1 to 3 cycles for the symptoms to dissipate, to reduce. Also, SSRIs might improve after even 1 cycle. Of course, if we use risperidone, remember risperidone بيشبه مين؟ aldosterone antagonist, okay? فبالتالي spironolactone شو هذول بيعملوا؟ hyperkalemia, very good. وبالتالي we should measure serum potassium. We should do annual, this goes all the time. Annual gynecological examination is a must, you guys, okay? وبلاد pressure إذا كانت عم تاخذ أول contraceptives. نجرب هلا ولا نستدعوا على مين؟ This is like summary, okay? Remember amenorrhea? Amenorrhea or secondary, we can give her the equine, conjugated equine estrogen, or ethinyl estradiol batch, or combination of oral contraceptives. In amenorrhea, we have to have estrogen. We have to have estrogen. Unless it's absolutely, then we go progesterone. But we should give estrogen whenever possible. Okay? Yes. لا we treat the underlying cause. The underlying cause will hypercholesterolemia, ناخذ guamocriptin, cabergoline, remember اللي هم dopamine agonists. Again, but if we give this and we fix the dopamine situation, we fix the prolactin levels, ولسه عندها, then we give her estrogen. Anabolic bleeding, combination oral contraceptives, dysmenorrhea, combination, levo, IUD, and NSAIDs. okay? Menorrhagia, remember, we also combined oral and SIDS. Do you see a theme here? Do you see something common? Sure. Oral contraceptives. It's common treatment for all these disorders. PCOS, if she desires pregnancy, we give her clomiphene, okay? There's the dose, Devo, oral if she doesn't want to get pregnant. We also can give metformin and other thiazolidine-diones, insulin sensitizers, but usually they use metformin really. And شفنا العلاقة between insulin and the hormones and how we treat one, we can affect the others. PMDD, clomipramine, glysperinone, loburolide, SSRIs, نفس الجايدلاين. which SSRIs, citalopram, escitalopram, fluoxetine, إلى آخره. Doses though are different in terms she might not have to take it continuously, okay? During the luteal phase, only bismuth. So after ovulation, during the luteal phase, she can take it, then stop it once she has her period and during the first 14 days after that. Or she can take it continuously, depending on the situation. Yes, but in this case, it's going to help. Yeah. Yes, it does help, even if it's not taken. But for depression, we need it 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Of course, we have to know the monitoring, and we will do monitoring خلال إن شاء الله. وأصلا مش واضح لا عندكم ولا عندي للأسف. موجود في كتابكم. لأنه المونيتورينج هو الجزء المهم بالنسبة لنا. إذا this we conclude menstruation related. I'm going to try for the last time غياب الحضور وإلا لبرهان. هلا انضبط؟